This opening day MLB Picks edition of the MLB Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Sign up at Underdog Fantasy, promo code MLB SGPN to get up to $1,000 in bonus credits. We're also brought to you by Edge Boost. Get up to $750 in cashback rewards each month when you sign up at edgeboost.bet and use the promo code SGPN. Welcome, everybody, to the MLB Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. My name is Malcolm Bamford, coming to you from Newcastle upon Tyne in the northeast of England. Today is Wednesday, the 26th of March, and we are here to handicap opening day of MLB. Holy shit, how excited.
I love it.
14 games for some reason. The Rockies and the Rays aren't allowed to play tomorrow. 14 games to get stuck into. Prestige starting pitching matchups. I don't know if it's my favourite day of the year, but it's definitely my favourite show of the year.
Mm-hmm.
You just can't whack it. Joining me to get stuck right into it in his PSG shirt, looking good, is Mr. Dylan Rockford. D-Rock, how are you?
I'm doing well. You got the baseball cap on, and I got the soccer jersey on. Aston Villa, big matchup, Champions League coming up in a few weeks. Come on. But I am taking a break today, not betting, even though I have the itch to bet on some college basketball, hockey. I'm going to be such a degenerate tomorrow. I'm going to unload on every fucking game. It's going to be amazing. Favorite time of the year. We got baseball coming up, Sweet 16 tomorrow as well. Do you gamble on college basketball or no?
No, I played some of those first half unders last week just for the
profitable.
Crap, but yeah, finished strong. It was a slow start, but finished with a wet sail. Finished up front. Yeah. Yeah, I know what you mean in terms of unloading tomorrow. I've had a couple of quiet weeks because it's been the international break in the football. So there hasn't been much to bet on. The international break bores me senseless. I didn't get into much. I had that weekend in London to pay for. So I was gonna have to reload my accounts tomorrow. And then about an hour ago, all the loose change I put on a horse and won. So I'm all the way back. Beautiful. So that's a good sign. So I don't have to load up my betting account. I got it on the last horse race of the night, a cheeky little 6-1 winner. So I was all over that. Dylan, I've got a question for you. I told you I was going to get you.
I know. I'm trying to be prepared now.
Yeah.
All right.
It's not too bad. You've got a chance. Which franchise, Dylan, in MLB has the best opening day record? Do you know this?
The Mets.
Oh, fuck off. He's got it right as well. Did you Google that?
No, it's one of my stats that yeah, the Mets.
Epic fail, yeah.
I kind of knew that.
22, Dylan. Yeah. With a 651 winning percentage for those New York Mets.
So what is that? 3-0? 3-0?
You what, mate?
Yeah, 3-0.
Yeah. 3-0. I'll write that down. Okay.
Write that down for the season.
Yeah, man.
Come on, you got to get a better question than that. Come on now. You threw me a little.
Right, well, let's answer some football questions then, and I'll get it back pretty quickly, I'm sure. Who's here tonight? Riley was first in. Riley, welcome along. TVDBJ, so excited. He's got his caps lock on. That's how excited he is. Welcome back, Trev. Jesse's here. Ralph Garcia as well. Welcome along. If you are live, I'm going to need one of you in a moment. I need some volunteers. Hands up. Because we've got a new feature on the show. A new feature. Anyone can get involved. So if you listen podcast or whatever, you can get involved. But as of today, we'll need someone who's live in the chat. We tried a little thing on the football show called Listener Streaks, where the listeners had to try and make a pick every day. Turns out they were shit at it. We never got past 2. So I don't even know if that counts as a streak. But we've got a feature here called Total Genius. And all you have to do is give us a winning total 6 days in a row, over or under, 6 days in a row. And there will be a limited edition. And of course, if you're the first one to win, you will be the first ever person with an SGPN Total Genius. I came up with that name, by the way. I can't tell you how proud I am. A Total Genius cap from the SGPN merch store. So TVDBJ has got his hands up. So Trev, between now and the end of the show, just give us a total. Give us an over or under. If you win, you're back on tomorrow. We need 6 in a row. You get your Total Genius hat. If you do want to play, just drop us a line. Get hold of us on Twitter. You can via YouTube, comment on Spotify, all that sort of thing. And we will put you in the queue. So Jesse's getting in the queue there as well. Once Trevor's got his hat for going 6 in a row, we'll put Jesse in the queue. So yeah, if you want to volunteer, by all means, get involved, and that will be our little feature. Let's see how many Total Genius hats we can give away this year. All the content everywhere across all the sports is on the SGPN app. All the picks and podcasts in one place. So get along. Dill, opening day. The Mets are away from home, so you won't be going.
Yeah, I know. And then next week,
we're going to a game on Monday. Is that Riley?
I think so.
Riley's going to see the Blue Jays on Monday, so that's a little bit of excitement. Dylan, what's opening day look like for you? Have you got the day off work? Because the times are great for me. Absolutely perfect. 8 o'clock, like 8 p.m. All these games start for me. So absolutely ideal. Are you at work, or will you get to consume all of it?
Well, I should note by saying it should be a national holiday, just like the day after the Super Bowl. Everyone should have off. But I'm gonna be at work, but I'm gonna get home, try to leave a little early to catch at least the Met game. The Mets start around like 4 o'clock, so I'll definitely be home for that. Watch the Brewers and the Yankees probably online. Hopefully, I get out of the Bronx in time with all that traffic going on in the Bronx. But yeah, that's what it's looking like. And I got 4 TVs, so gotta make sure you guys get MLB TV or the MLB app. And I think T-Mobile is offering like a free subscription, so might as well get everything handled. Yeah.
So I normally get half price, 50% off by. I think you can do this in the States. If you join the MLB PAA, so the Players Association, it's like you don't have to be a player. There's no like qualifiers. So you could join there for $20 or whatever it is for your annual subscription to that, and you get 50% off MLB TV. So it's a good saving. It's a good saving of $50-$60. There's some other perks as well. You get loads of discounts at various online stores, but that T-Mobile thing.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
Jesse's just confirming it. And I don't think I'm on T-Mobile. I don't even know what I'm on. Someone will be though. So that's that's the IT department's job, Dylan.
Yeah, I know.
Right. It's so long since I've done a pick show. I'm not even sure what order we're meant to do things, but I'm excited to say, Dylan.
Yeah.
3:05, first pitch tomorrow. Going off 2 minutes early between the Milwaukee Brewers and the New York Yankees. Freddie Peralta takes the ball for the Brewers. In the absence of Gerrit Cole, left-handed pitcher Carlos Rodon gets the nod for the New York Yankees. The Yankees are -143 favourites. The Brewers +138. Total is hovering at 8 or 8.5, depending on where you look. The Brewers tick a lot of boxes here for me. They were good on the road last year. Freddie Peralta, we used to have that home Freddie Road Freddie thing, didn't we? And that wasn't live last year. I mean, Trev will be all over this, being our resident Peralta fan, our resident Brewers fan. 15 games on the road last year for Peralta, 3.29 ERA. The middle of the lineup looks a little bit flimsy, is what I would say for the Brewers. Carlos Rodon was good at home last year. So we could be in for a bit of a pitching duel here. The total looks high. I wouldn't mind the under if you wanted to take the under 8.5. But there isn't much between these teams at all. And there's not much between these pitchers. I'm not convinced by the Yankees. I think at the prices, I'll start with an underdog here. I'll take the Brewers at plus 138, Dylan.
Yeah, honestly, this was one of the tougher games to handicap, in my opinion. I see some 8s out there. I honestly would take the under on that. My total came out to 7.1. It's going to be windy tomorrow here in New York, 49 degrees. Not ideal for some runs. And we know that in the beginning of the season and in the end of the season, the ball doesn't travel like it does in mid-July. So balls are definitely going to be coming in my opinion. At plus 145, I think the Brewers might be live. I only made the Yankees a minus 150 favorite. Peralta, 368 ERA in 32 starts last year. Struck out 200 batters and 173 in 2/3 inning. He's moved back kind of to that third base side of the mound, trying to get some extension on his delivery. And he's kind of limited hitters to 7.6% barrel rate over his last 10 starts last year. So it's basically the data is suggesting that, he's kind of up to the challenge of holding down a pretty good Yankees lineup. So I like the under here, and at plus 145, we're going dog hunting as well. I'm going to take the Brewers here.
So a little team ride on the underdog to get us going. Yeah, the chat kind of is siding with us as well. Trev's not having the Yankees particularly. Second game on the card is a 3:07 Eastern first pitch between the Baltimore Orioles and the Toronto Blue Jays. Zach Eflin goes for Baltimore. Jose Barrios is on the mound for the Blue Jays. Close on the books, as you'd expect. There's quite a lot of relative matches here, with Baltimore slight favourites at minus 106. The Blue Jays at plus 102. Total, Dylan, is 8.5.
Yeah, not taking a side in this game. Phillies being a big favorite. I only made him a minus 160 favorite. Kind of like the over, though. 7. I made my total 7.6. I do think we could see some runs here from both clubs, but official play is going to be a player prop. Zach Wheeler under 6.5 strikeouts at minus 140. A little chalky, but I do think the number is kind of high in my opinion. In spring training, he only struck out 13 batters in 14 innings. He threw 30, 50, 71, and 75 pitches in his 5 starts in spring training. So I don't think he'll be limited that much here in opening day, but I also don't expect him to throw anywhere close to 100 pitches. And, Nationals, they're really not the best offense either, but they were one of the hardest teams to strike out against right-handed pitchers. They had just a 20.6% K percentage, which was the 8th hardest team to strike out last season. So 7 Ks here on opening day, I do think is a lot. So under 6.5 strikeouts here for Zach Wheeler for me.
Zach Eflin. Keep saying Zach Wheeler. Get your Zach's mixed up, Jill.
Eflin.
Yeah, we've got bit of a crossfire here. We've got Blue Jays fans and we've got Orioles fans. Everyone taking their own team. Eflin was excellent with Baltimore after he got traded over last year. 9 games started, 2.60 ERA. I don't like this Baltimore lineup at all. It's weaker than it was last year, and that's just a fact. They lost the big bat in the middle, Anthony Santander, and they lost him to the Toronto Blue Jays. I like the heart of that lineup with Santander and Andres Jimenez. I think Jimenez might back clean up tomorrow. We'll see. But I really like those additions. I really want to see more of Baltimore. It was
Real
Trev
quick now.
straight in Baltimore out of the gate, and I feel a little bit like that at all. And I'm quite high on the Blue Jays. I fancied them all the way over December. I think I mentioned something in our group chat in December and got loads of stick off Scott for it. But I'm going to take the Blue Jays here at home, and I just don't fancy this Baltimore team. The one thing worth mentioning is Tyler O'Neill, who has this ridiculous record of 5 consecutive opening day home runs.
Wow.
So I know, yeah. Wow. Imagine if you parlayed them. It would be a long old 5-year parlay, but you'd be living the high life now, deciding whether to go 6 in a row tomorrow. But yeah, Tyler O'Neill with 5 in a row. But yeah, Santander might be a name we come back to later on when we're looking for our dingers.
Real quick, Mal. My bad. I read you my wrong play for the wrong game. Obviously, that was for the Phillies. I was talking about Zach Wheeler. I was reading I can't believe I just did that. First day, starting strong. Can I give you my play now for the correct game, Orioles and Blue Jays?
Mid-season form, Dylan, already.
Mid-season,
well, right, so, yeah,
at least I wasn't on mute.
It's confusion. Yeah, come on.
At least I wasn't on mute. But no, I got two plays here. I'm going to throw a half a unit. I agree with you guys. Blue Jays on the money line, plus 102. My line made him a minus 120 20 favorite here. But my favorite is another player prop, Jackson Holliday to score a run. I know Jackson Holliday, very underwhelming rookie season. He was probably one of the best prospects in baseball. He looked lost when he came up in the majors. They sent him back down. He was striking out too much in that number 9 hole, but I do think he could have a really revenge tour here in his sophomore season. He did hit 333, 4 RBIs, 5 stolen bases in spring training. And there's also a chance he's in the leadoff batter spot as well. Gunnar Henderson is sidelined as well. He did bat leadoff on Tuesday in the final spring training game as well. So, I expect Jackson Holliday's props to be very valuable this season. At plus 145 for him to score a run, I think that's my favorite angle in this game. In a game where I'm going to see plenty of runs. These two teams scored 126 total runs in 13 head-to-head meetings last year, averaging around 9.6 runs per game. So in a game where I do expect us to see runs in the leadoff spot in a very good lineup, I'm gonna take the second-year kid Jackson Holliday to score a run at plus 150.
Great price, Dylan. Yeah, might be worth getting ahead of him if he is going to turn it around. Getting ahead of him at this time of the season is exactly the time to do it. Randy's joined us. Randy, we're welcoming all our old friends back for the 2025 baseball season. Nice to have you along, Randy. DraftKings, when it comes to college basketball and March Mania, nothing is for sure. Upsets, buzzer beaters, top seeds going home. It's all going to happen. Bet the unexpected. Every upset, every day with DraftKings Sportsbook. There's live betting, exclusive content, promos, parlays. DraftKings is the ultimate college basketball destination for March. New DraftKings customers can bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Bet the unexpected with DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use the code SGP. That's SGP for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 8878-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help's available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of Boot Hill Resort and Casino, Kansas. 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. New customers only. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio. Bosh. Rhythm is your home for AI picks and props. Rhythm is already off to a great start, helping you dominate March Madness. Building your own custom model is easy and profitable. They've got models for NBA, golf, and MLB coming soon. Sign up today for a free 7-day trial at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. Okay, this game, we're still not up to the Phillies, Dylan. We must go to a different order. 4:05 Eastern first pitch between the Boston Red Sox and the Texas Rangers. Left-handed pitcher Garrett Crochet on debut for the Red Sox, taking on Nathan Eovaldi for Texas. Close on the books, minus 101 Texas, minus 105 Boston. Total is 7.5. Lots of people high on Crochet, and why not? Obviously, the stellar pitching signing for Boston. I've said before in a couple of preview episodes, that second half, I'd prefer to maintain a watching brief just because of that second half of the season where it was 4-inning limit and it was uncompetitive baseball. So it might just take him a little while in a new environment to get going. But you can't dispute what he's done at all. It was just a bit of a weird second half last year. But if you can answer those questions, absolute star potential. I really like the Red Sox this year. Really like them. Christian Campbell was my rookie of the year pick out there at 8-1. He's broken camp with the team. But I like Nathan Eovaldi too. I'm high on Texas, but I'm higher on both pitches, both offenses here tomorrow. I think they can both get involved. 7.5 seems too low for me. Even if both pitches go okay, there's a lot of power in these teams. I'm looking forward to seeing Campbell. I'm looking forward to seeing Bregman, etc. Bounce back here from Adolis Garcia. I'm going to take this is my first total here. I'm going to go over 7.5, Dylan.
Yeah, another game where I have two plays. I'm going to take a stab here with the Rangers at home on the money line, -110. My numbers made them a -125 favorite here. And another player prop that really caught my little chalky at -155, but I think the juice is worth the squeeze. Jared Duran, over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. Last season, Duran crushed Eovaldi in their head-to-head matchup. In 3 plate appearances, he crushed a double, a home run, for a total of 6 hits, runs, and RBIs. He was batting .667. Now I get it, it's a small sample size, but Duran is also really strong against right-handed pitchers as a left-handed batter. Last season, he posted a .300 batting average against right-handed pitchers, while Eovaldi, he allowed batters were hitting .256 off of him to lefties. So I think batting leadoff in that leadoff spot in a strong Red Sox lineup, I think he's going to go out there and crush the ball. I love this spot for him. I agree with your over. My total was 7.9. I think we'll see some runs here, especially in a dome down in Texas. So I do like the over. But yeah, I'm going to take the Rangers here, and I'm going to take Jared Duran over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs.
We have our first official submission for 2025 Total Genius feature. Trev has gone for Brewers and the Yankees under 8.
Love it.
Is the answer. I might have given you an 8.5, Trev, but you've made your own bed now. So 6 in a row to win your Total Genius cap. Trevor, game number 1 goes for the under in the Brewers versus Yankees. 4:05 Eastern first pitch between the Philadelphia Phillies and the Washington Nationals. Zach Wheeler, Dylan, he's pitching for the Philadelphia Phillies. And left-handed pitcher Mackenzie Gore for the Nationals. -156 Philly, +150 Washington. Total here is 7, Dylan.
Yeah, well, I said it already. If you want to just rewind it, if you're listening to the pod, but if you're live, yeah, I'm gonna go Zach Wheeler under 6.5 strikeouts at -140. Like I said, in 4 starts in spring training, he threw 30, 50, 71, and 75 pitches. I don't think he'll be limited that much, but I don't think he's going to throw anywhere from 90 to 100 pitches. And we've seen it last year. Nationals, they're one of the hardest teams to strike out in the league, especially against right-handed pitchers. So I think going out there on opening day, 7 Ks is a lot. So I do favor the Phillies. Maybe you want to add them in one of your opening day money line parlays, but I actually like the over too. Like I was saying, over 7, made my total 7.6. So maybe some runs here as well, but yeah, under 6.5 strikeouts here for Wheeler.
Yeah, it is hard to pick holes in Wheeler. You're right. He had a 283 road ERA last year. But the Phillies weren't great on the road. They were only finished 1 game above 500 last year away from Philadelphia. Mackenzie Gore, Trev's just pointing out that a lot of people are really high on Mackenzie Gore this year. And I do like him a lot. I like him. He finished 2024 with 6 scoreless against the Phillies and 9 strikeouts. I do like Washington this year. We were high on them when we did this divisional preview, and they're a big price. So it's another underdog for me. I'm going to give the Nationals a chance here at +150 on the money line. 4:10 Eastern first pitch is the Cleveland Guardians and the Kansas City Royals. Tanner Bybee will go for Cleveland. And left-handed pitcher Cole Reagans draws the start for Kansas City, who are -122 favourites, +110 for Cleveland. And the total here is set at 7.5. Pitching-wise, this was a really interesting game, actually. Tanner Bybee was really good on the road last year. 15 games started with a 2.76 ERA. Faced Kansas City 4 times and picked up 3 wins last year as well. Cole Reagans we enjoyed watching all year. Had a good year. Wasn't as good at home. And Cleveland dominated left-handed pitching last year as well. They had a 29-11 record against lefties last year, Cleveland. A couple of things just to watch with the Kansas City lineup here. Vinny Pasquantino's got a bit of a hamstring, the pass scotch, so we'll have to see if he makes it in. But I did like the addition of Jonathan India, because what Kansas City needed was some OBP, especially in that leadoff spot. You've got Bobby Witt Jr. following up, and he was following up nobody a lot of the time. Well, Jonathan India gets on base, so I do like that. But, and I didn't do this on purpose, see the Cleveland record against lefties, Bybee's record against Kansas City, Bybee's record on the road. It's another underdog. That's 4 in a row. I'm taking Cleveland at plus 110, Dylan.
Yeah, I'm going to be on the opposite side. I love the Royals here at home, minus 130. My numbers actually made them a minus 155 favorite. I was talking to Lonte a few weeks ago, and we're just both down on the Guardians this season. They leaned heavily on their bullpen and their elite defense to kind of mask the real problem, which was their rotation last season. And, there's a reason why they fall into 4th in the odds to win the AL Central this season. I think it's much easier to believe in the Royals pitching. I'll use the air quotes while they're still healthy to start the season. Cole Reagan's 3.14 ERA, 223 strikeouts, and 186 and 1/3 inning last year. There's a reason he's plus 900 to win AL Cy Young entering this season. I think they made improvements in the offseason, unlike the Guardians. They traded for Jonathan India for their leadoff hitter. Love that. Signing Carlos Estevez to help close the game with Lucas Ursig as well. So, I do still have concerns about Kansas City's depth, especially for that outfield, but I don't think that's going to be a problem here in game 1. Royals, they've won 56% of their home games last year, and I think they're going to start early tomorrow. So, yeah, Royals money line here is the play for me.
Okay, so different sides of that one. Fair enough. We'll move on. Let me tell you about Underdog Pick'em. You can play any sport and win up to 100 times your money. The thing to do there is use our code MLB SGPN. We'll get you a special pick and first-time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus credits. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code MLB SGPN. And SGPN is partnered up with Edge Boost, the premier Visa debit card for bettors. An Edge Boost card allows you to avoid the hassle of having your card denied at any of your favorite gambling spots. You can earn up to $750 per month in cashback rewards. It's FDIC insured. And there's no credit checks. It's completely free. Sign up today at edgeboost.bet, promo code SGPN. 4:10 Eastern first pitch is your New York Mets going to the Houston Astros, where Clay Holmes gets the start for the Mets. Framber Valdez, left-handed pitcher, goes for the Astros. Minus 122 Houston, plus 112 the Mets. Total at 8.5. Dylan, Mets getting off the mark with a win.
I mean, you opened the show with the best opening day record. And what kind of fan would I be, especially Met fan, if I didn't back them here on opening day? Give me them straight up on the money line, plus 110. Holmes definitely earned the ball game 1 for a reason. He was fantastic in spring training, 129 ERA in 4 starts, struck out 15 batters across 14 innings. I think the Mets have the better lineup after adding Juan Soto. The top 6 batters for the Mets have projected to have a WRC plus of 116 or better this year. I mean, that's way better than the Astros. The Astros lost some guys. I think Holmes, he's in better form. We have the better lineup than the Astros. And just to go off what you were saying earlier in the show, the Mets, they've won 6 of the past 8 home openers. So give me the Amazons plus 110. I also like Clay Holmes over 4.5 strikeouts at plus 128. I mentioned he was elite in spring training as well. A big reason, I think, for his success, he really developed a new kick changeup pitch. It's kind of called, generated 59.1% whiff rate. The last 2 preseason starts, he reached 76 of 88 pitches where they whiffed on. So, and I think they're kind of stretch him out a little bit here to start the season, just for reference. I think he can throw anywhere from 80 to 90 pitches, and he's averaging 1 strikeout every 15 pitches. So I mean, it's simple math. If I expect him to throw 80 to 90 pitches, that's 5 to 6 strikeouts. So I'll throw a little half unit on that at plus 128 as well. So yeah, Clay Holmes over 4.5 strikeouts and Mets money line plus 110.
Yeah, it's always a fun experiment when a reliever goes into the rotation. Clay Holmes has been nasty in pre-season. Watched a couple of his starts. You're right about that change-up. Really, really good. Interesting to see how he goes. He only threw 63 innings last year and is in at the deep end here with an opening day start at Houston. But I'm just not keen on Houston this year, Dylan. I completely agree with you. Cam Smith breaking camp with the team has been a good story. That's one of the best storylines coming out. He's a big lad, by the way, Cam Smith. So interesting to see how he goes. But it's always you get these sort of stories of young players coming up and then struggling. We had Jackson Holiday last year, even the top prospects, and Cam Smith wasn't necessarily one of those. I like Framber Valdez. He was very good at home last year. He was very good earlier in the year. But I just want the Mets more in general. I mean, a lot of handicap in these games are, until you see a bit more, just who do you feel are going to have a better season almost, which seems like a mad thing to do on day one. But I think it's the Mets. So I'll take New York at plus 112, Dylan. Next up is a 4:10 Eastern first pitch between the San Francisco Giants and the Cincinnati Reds. Logan Webb for the Giants and Hunter Green goes for Cincinnati. Plus 102, San Francisco. Minus 104, the Reds. Total is 7.5 or 8, depending on where you look. Slightly more interested in San Francisco, you know. I know I've spent a lot of the off-season saying they're just like the grey team for me. Like they're the team that I probably think about the least, I talk about the least, I bet on the least. I never watch them, I never see them. I think they're going to be okay. Willie Adames is a great addition. He's going to be a leader. He's going to hold together the middle of that infield for them. We like Logan Webb a lot. He was 1.3 runs per game worse on the road than he was at home. The Giants do grade out pretty much bang average everywhere. I love the catcher. I love Patrick Bailey. I think he's going to be great. Everywhere you look for an angle in on the Giants, it's really hard to find one. The Reds are tricky to analyse, I think, but they've got much more upside. I like Green. His figures aren't stellar either, especially at home. So I think we can see some runs here. That total is 7.5 is low. I don't see why both teams can't get involved here. So I'm going to take the over 7.5 to them.
Yeah, small puppy here, but I'm going to take the Reds here on the money line, minus 104. My numbers made him a minus 130 favorite here with Green on the bump. We talked about this for a couple years now, but I know it's early, but Logan Webb is just not a guy you want to back at on the road. You want to back him at home, even if it is opening day. 4.11 ERA on the road compared to a 2.83 at home. Just a vastly different pitcher. And I think you mentioned it. I think there's more upside to this Reds team. I think they could be a dark horse in this NL Central division. I like Green. He throws hard. He led the NL last year with 6.3 WAR, which tied actually Tariq Skubal for the best mark in baseball. And Giants improved their lineup. They went out and they got Willie Adames, but you know they still ranked 19th with WRC plus. That was at a 90 of 97 last year. So, you know, I think Hunter Green, he's going to set the tone early here. I agree with your total going over. It's a hitter's ballpark at a Great American Ballpark. I set my total at 7.9. So love the over. I do think we'll see some runs, but I'm going to take the Reds here to get the win.
4:10 Eastern first pitch is the Atlanta Braves at the San Diego Padres. Left-handed pitcher Chris Sale for Atlanta, and drawing the opening day start for the Friars is Michael King. The Padres are plus 110 underdogs. The Braves minus 122. The total is low, 6.5 or 7. I thought this was the trickiest game on the card for me. There's no holes to be picked in Sale at all. He was my idea of the Cy Young winner at 10-1. He's had 6 opening day starts, Chris Sale. He's 1-2 with a 3.50 ERA. Michael King's fine, 3.32 home ERA. I'm not convinced by either lineup here. But the Padres hit the Braves really well last year. 7 games they played, 285 batting average against them. Atlanta only had a 244 against the Padres. So this isn't a strong feeling. I know we said we're going to bet on everything, Dylan, but this will be further down my list. This might be a pizza bet on the San Diego Padres on the money line at +110.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Braves here on the money line -122. My numbers made them a -140 favorite here. Mal, you and I we talked about it a few weeks ago, but we really weren't impressed with the Padres and kind of how they handled the offseason. I think they actually got worse, and we also were both kind of high on the Braves to have a bounce back year, especially since they're gonna get most of their all-stars back in the lineup. Obviously, Acuna, he won't be ready to start this season, but, this lineup is difficult to navigate. You got Austin Riley, Matt Olson, Ozuna, Michael Harris II. I think I think they had this game circled. I know it's opening day, but I do think they're going to be eager to face Michael King. After that NL wildcard game, he shut him out. Seven innings, 12 strikeouts in game 1. I think it's also worth remembering that the Braves were coming off a doubleheader with the Mets, nightmare travel situation the day before they had to verse Michael King. So I don't expect him to, replicate a showing like that on opening day, even if it is at home. So I think the Braves are going to come out aggressive here, and I think they're going to win. Give me the Braves straight up -122.
Yeah, I just don't. It's the lineup like Jurickson Profile at the top, and then the bottom half of that lineup, Drake Baldwin might be all right. Young catcher, Jared Kelenic, lot to prove. Orlando Arcia. It's just not a. The Braves seem to be trading to me on name value,
That's
rather than sort of what they're doing. But like I say, this was the weakest feeling I had about all of the games, which is remarkable considering the next game we are going to look at, the 4:10 Eastern first pitch between the LA Angels and the Chicago White Sox. What a beauty this is. Left-handed pitcher Yusei Kikuchi will go for the Angels, and Sean Burke draws the start for the White Sox, who are +135. The Angels -143, road favourites. Totals all over. The books have got no idea here. You can get a 7.5, you can get an 8.5, you can choose your own total. Dylan, I'm pleased you're going first on this one. Come on, pick us a
Yeah,
win.
you mentioned last game wasn't high on your list. This one is not high, even though I probably will bet a little something on it. But, fading the White Sox last season was a very good formula to follow. They lost 121 games last season. And that they did that while having one of the top pitchers in Garrett Crochet, who obviously was traded to Boston last season. I do think the Angels did make some good moves in the offseason. They have a top 10 payroll as well, and one of them is starting in opening day in Yusei Kikuchi. So no real conviction here. I will take a chance here with the Angels on the run line. Nice +115 price. I just needed any sort of plus money to take a shot here. So maybe a half a unit, quarter unit, but I think they should win this game easy. I'm going to take the Angels on the run line.
Yeah, what the Angels tried to do was build a team capable of winning the 2019 World Series, which was a bold strategy. But it might just work. If they invent a time machine, they're going to be all over it. Not much positive to say about either club here, but Kikuchi is okay. He finished last year really strongly. He can build on that here. Sean Burke, 19 innings pitched last year. Who knows what he's going to do? But at least I think the Angels have got some potential in their lineup. Mike Trout hopefully goes really well. Soler. They've got some players that can put some distance between them and the White Sox. All we did last year was fade the White Sox on their own line. It was a license to print money. And I think we have to start that way here. I got the same pick as you, Dylan. The Angels on the run line, a +115, and we'll just ride that until it falls off. Next up is the Pittsburgh Pirates at the Miami Marlins, which is a 4:10 Eastern first pitch. And it's Paul Skeens Day. For Pittsburgh, Sandy Alcantara will go for the Marlins. Plus 135, home underdogs, Miami. Minus 145, Pittsburgh. A low total of 6.5. There's no reason not to expect Skeens to be brilliant. Alcantara is pretty solid too, although he started last season a little bit slowly. So he'll need to not do that again. Miami were terrible at home last year. They were terrible everywhere, but they were particularly bad at home. 30-51 last year. The lineup there is barely a AAA lineup. They lost Connor Norby today. They've got a few players, a few young players who've got kind of fun to watch. A little bit like the Athletics were last year. They're like, we knew they were rubbish, but they've got some players you want to watch. Miami, a little bit like that. Connor Norby was one of them. Unfortunately, he's gone down to the IL. So keep this short and sweet. It's a little bit short, is it? Is it the unit and a half player Pittsburgh at minus 145? Or I did think, depending on the prices, Paul Skeens to record the win might be a decent option as well, because I think he'll go long enough into this game. So I'll see if I can find a price on that. But yeah, it's all Pittsburgh for me, Dylan.
Yeah, I'm going to go with a player prop here in this one. I did make the Pirates a minus 145 favorite. My total 6.7, so slightly lean towards the over, but I feel much more confident in fading Sandy Alcantara here on opening day. He's coming off Tommy John surgery. He hasn't thrown more than 57 pitches in spring training. So the Marlins, obviously being cautious with him, which I do think is the right move. 17 pitches, 30, 45, 48, and 57 in just 5 starts. So now I don't think he'll throw just 57 pitches, but just like what we saw in the Tokyo series last week, some guys just won't go past that 70 pitch mark. And I think that's when they'll take him out of the game. He finished spring training, 10 strikeouts in 12 1/3 inning. In general, Sandy Alcantara really hasn't been a guy who gets a ton of strikeouts either. So I'm going to fade Sandy Alcantara here. Under 5.5 strikeouts at minus 120 is a very playable play for me.
Miami 54, 22-5. That's 71%. To the over. It's home last year, Trev tells us. But Paul Skeens being the fly in the ointment there. Paul Skeens to record the win is plus 160, which is a really tidy price if you want to get involved in that. Abdi's joined us. Abdi, welcome along from Toronto. More Blue Jay. I think Blue Jays are winning the fan battle tonight in the comments. So nice to have you with us, Abdi. There's quite a few people in there. If you haven't said hello, by all means, do that. 4:15 Eastern first pitch is the Minnesota Twins at the St. Louis Cardinals. Pablo Lopez for Minnesota and Sonny Gray for the Cards. Tight on the books, even money St. Louis. Slight favourites, minus 106. The Twins. Total, Dylan, is 7.5.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the home puppy here. I actually made the Cardinals a minus 120 favorite here on opening day, so I'll take a minus 106. I'm interested in the Cardinals until they start trading away their veterans, but I do think this team has some talent. We'll start obviously on third base with Nolan Arenado, obviously very popular trade candidate, and he's swinging the bat very well in spring training in the 28th percentile bat speed last year, and I think Sonny Gray, he's also worth backing when he's on the mound. He struck out 203 batters last season. And on the Twins side, just nothing really to ride home about. Royce Lewis, he suffered an injury in spring training, so I don't think he'll be able to go opening day either. But it doesn't matter. I'm really not high on the Twins here. On the road, I think this is a tough spot against one of their best pitchers. So minus 106, I think the wrong team is favored. I'll take the Cardinals to win game 1.
I've been looking for a wrong team favored. We've got it's a WTF moment, Dylan. WTF, wrong team favored. I couldn't disagree with you here, and I know I picked on St. Louis all last year, but I am so out on them. They're even worse than they were last year. They were dog shit last year. I like Sonny Gray. I do like Sonny Gray. Leads the league in having buttons undone, which we like. He's very good at home. But I'm out on St. Louis, and I need to try and take advantage of it early, because in 6 weeks' time, I'll not be able to get even money for a pitcher like Pablo Lopez going against St. Louis here. it was a real tale of two halves for Lopez last year. He finished the season very, very strongly, and he'll be looking to build on that. Minnesota, don't blow my skirt up too much. I agree. But St. Louis, absolutely way down my list of teams I want to bet on. So I'll be taking the Twins here at minus 106. 7:10 Eastern time. We have two Cy Young winning pitchers battling it out as the Detroit Tigers go to the LA Dodgers. Lefty Tarek Skubal goes up against lefty Blake Snell. The Dodgers are minus 148. The Tigers plus 135. The total is understandably low at 6.5. So the first thing I wanted to mention here, obviously we've got two stellar pitchers, but the start time for this game here, 7:10 Eastern in LA, and it's the time of the shadows at Dodger Stadium, which is not going to help these bats out at all. So as if it wasn't going to be hard enough for the batters going up against Skubal and Snell, they're going to have to deal with those shadows creeping across. So any kind of pitching props you want to get involved with this tomorrow, I wouldn't put you off at all. It's not very often we'll tip in under at 6.5. But strikeouts, outs, things like that, I would go with that. Skubal top class, 288 on the road last year. Only faced the Dodgers once last year, but he did okay. 2 earned runs and, crucially, 8 strikeouts, which bodes well for that K-prop tomorrow. Snell started really slowly last year, even though he had mitigating circumstances, having missed spring training, etc. But I think plus 135 behind Skubal has to be worth a look. You're not going to get that price with Skubal very often. The reason is they're at this juggernaut that's the Dodgers. But it's opening day. Pitchers are going to be ahead of batters. So I think Skubal and the Tigers would be my play at plus 135.
Yeah, I can't talk anyone, getting a plus 130, 135 on Tariq Skubal. Like you said, you're probably not going to get that very much this season unless they play the Dodgers. So can't talk anyone off of that. Should be a good matchup between Snell and Skubal, but I'm going to go on the other side. I'm going to take the Dodgers on the run line. A little pizza bet plus 155. My numbers made them a minus 170 favorite. So a little chalky of a play. I actually did a two-legger money line parlay with Dodgers, and we'll talk about the Mariners, but that's a 2-legger at plus 168. I threw a half a unit on that as well. We saw last week in the Tokyo series, even when the game kind of started slow for the Dodgers, that lineup could turn around in a blink of an eye, especially without Freddie Freeman and Mookie Betts. So I think they're going to be able to score runs once that bullpen gets in. And I just think in general, like a general rule of thumb, just like how fading the White Sox have been profitable, I think fading the Dodgers is just not a smart decision, especially early on, because we're going to get to a point in the year where we're not going to be able to get a plus 155. We were barely able to get plus money in general on the run line for the Dodgers. So plus 155, just like how you're not going to be able to get a plus 135 with the Tigers, I think it's a flip of a coin. And so I think I'm going to just take the plus 155 with the Dodgers on the run line.
Smart decisions in me. They've never been best friends, Dylan. I wouldn't be sitting here involved in this nonsense if they were. But yeah, I'll stick with the underdog play. The penultimate game on the card for the first time this year is a 10-10 Cowboy time first pitch between the Chicago Cubs and the Arizona Diamondbacks. Friend of the show and left-handed pitcher Justin Steele goes for the Cubbies. It is Zach Gallen going for the Diamondbacks. The Diamondbacks are minus 130 here. The Cubs are plus 125. Total is 8 or 8.5. Little bit of news out of the Diamondbacks camp today was that Jordan Montgomery's going to have Tommy John. I kind of had high hopes for him. I had him as a bit of a sleeper. I had him on the back end of my bench in a lot of fantasy leagues. But yeah, he's going to have TJ, so that's the end of him. But Steele versus Gallen's an interesting matchup, Dill.
Yeah, I know we were on the pod and you were like, hey, maybe he could get that 5th start. So, tough news for the Snakes. But you got your Snakes hat on, and that's exactly where I'm going. Minus 130. I made Gallen a minus 147 favorite here, so I like that. I also took the Diamondbacks team total over 3.5 a few days ago at minus 160. Usually out of my price range, but it has gone up to 4.5 now, which I still would bet a half a unit on that. You could get that at plus 118. I'm seeing right now. Arizona led the MLB last season with 886 runs. Honestly one of their best offensive seasons in maybe in my lifetime, but I don't know if they'll be able to repeat that from last season, but I do expect them to score a ton of runs this season, and I think they're going to be very aggressive at the plate. The Cubs, they've had a week off from that Tokyo series, and the travel schedule from these international series can be tough on teams. For example, last season, the San Diego Padres, they go off on a 3-5 start last year, even though they split the Seoul series with the Dodgers. So, I do think Arizona wins this game conventionally, scoring a bunch of runs in the process. It is one of the highest totals on the board for a reason on opening day. So I'm going to go Diamondbacks team total over, and I'm going to take the D-backs on the money line as well.
B-Man No Wi-Fi, I think, pronounced that right. Might be No Wi-Fi. Joined us in the chat. He wants the D-backs on the run line, pointing out that the Snakes were the number one team in OPS against left-handed pitching last year. I've taken the under here, Dylan. Steele wasn't too sharp in Tokyo. In fact, he pitched okay until he ran into trouble, which is often the way. But I'm not going to read too much into that alien environment. He was absolutely stellar on the road last season with Steele. Zach Gallen is top class too. And with two fresh pens behind them, I think the pitchers can be ahead of the bats again here. I think the 8.5's too big. I do prefer the Diamondbacks for reasons that you've given out, but the under 8.5 is going to be my play in this game, Dylan. Walk-in Bankroll 33 is back with us. Welcome along. Yes, looking forward to a great season, Bankroll. Hopefully, we'll pick a few winners. The final game on opening day is a 10-10 first pitch between, and didn't say Oakland, I thought about it, between the Athletics and the Seattle Mariners. For the A's, it will be Luis Severino. For the Mariners, it will be Logan Gilbert. Minus 156 favourites, Seattle. The A's are plus 145. And there was no total on this when I checked before. Let me see if this has been updated. Down the bottom here. Yeah, total is 7 for the A's here and the Mariners. Cal Raleigh extended today for the Mariners. Liked him a lot. Catcher played 153 games last year. Just so rarely takes a day off. Severino struggled on the road last year. He was with your New York Mets. He saw Seattle once, just gave up 4 earned runs in 5 innings pitched. Logan Gilbert was very good at home. 2.49 home ERA. Struck out 115 in 101 innings pitched. So a Gilbert K prop, I wouldn't put you off. Seattle need to score more runs. It's not complicated. Every game last year, we just thought under. One of the best pitching rotations you could wish for, and then just didn't back it up. But I think Rodriguez is going to have a good season. I think J-Rod's going to go well. Like I say, I like Cal Raleigh. So as much as I'll be looking for spots to pick the A's this season, I do think they're going to be a fun team. I'm going to look to see how they get on at home, particularly in that Little League ballpark. But I'm going to take a Seattle team total tomorrow. Because like I say, I don't fancy Severino much. And I do think Seattle are going to be a little bit better, particularly J-Rod. Team total over 3.5 for the Mariners is minus 125. So that would be my play, Dylan.
Yeah, I mean, this is, like I said, I did a money line parlay with the Dodgers and Mariners plus 168. I only made the Mariners a minus 165 favorite. Maybe throw a half a unit on them on the run line plus 140. They won the series comfortably last season, 9-4. They're sending out their ace, Logan Gilbert. He's obviously the better of the two pitchers. 27, he's in the prime of his life. 3.23 ERA. He earned a spot on the All-Star team last year, and my Mets did let Severino go, which I think is very telling because the Mets are not shy on spending, obviously, with the Juan Soto contract.
Yeah.
I think the front office basically sat there and said, I think they're aware of the decline of Severino. His strikeout to walk ratio was only 2.7 last year. Gilbert was 5.9, obviously way better. And, I just think I almost said Oakland. Is it Vegas yet or is it Oakland? What are you saying?
Just the A's.
The A's. Okay, the A's. Obviously, they didn't really do anything to their lineup. They got Jero Urshela, but that's not enough to send them over the top. The Mariners, they're the much better roster. They're the better starter. I think they win this game easily. So, give me the run line at plus 140.
Okay, so all about Seattle. Nerfy. Our first Nerfy. That's a good DJ play. Our first Nerfy suggestion. From B-Man the Mariners Athletics. We're going for a Nerfy. Well, Dylan, 14 games in the hatch in 57 minutes. What thoroughly professional young men we are. Lock, dog, and don't forget, we'll throw out our dingers play as well. Dylan, who have you got for your first log and dog of 2025?
Yeah, so I gave some dogs out that how can I not go with the Mets, right? How can I not go with the Mets? I'll take the Mets here. Mets plus 110. Like I said, I even like Clay Holmes if you want to take another dog at over 4.5 strikeouts at plus 148. I just think I'm not high on the Astros. They lost a lot. I think Clay Holmes has been the better pitcher of the two so far. I think they have the better lineup, especially 1 through 6. So I'm going to take the Mets here at plus 110 as my dog and as my lock. I wanted to go a few ways, but I'll go. Since you're wearing the snakes, I'll take Zach Allen and the D-backs here at home. I like they mentioned in the chat they destroy lefties. I like Justin Steele. I think he's a good pitcher, but I just think against this lineup, this is a tough spot for him on the road. Bad travel situation coming over from Tokyo as well. They don't usually do well coming back. So I'm going to take the Diamondbacks here straight up on the money line, minus 130 as my lock.
Okay. I'm going to lock up, and it's quite short. I'm going to lock up Seattle. Minus 156 on the money line. I do like that team total. And the reason I've kind of locked up Seattle is everywhere else was underdogs. I've literally got 9 or 10 underdogs to choose from here. So I'll almost certainly pick the wrong one. 6 or 7 of them will win. And I'll give out the wrong one here. I'm going to go with... Did you give out the Mets?
Yeah.
Bad man. Let's have a go. I'll tell you what, we'll be bold, Dylan. Bold for the opening day show. Washington, plus 150.
I love
We'll go with Mackenzie Gore, pitched well against the Phillies back end of last year. Total's low. It's going to be a low-scoring game. And maybe Washington can get that done at plus 150. My home run, we hark back to the second game we did. And quite a few people in the chat here mentioned Anthony Santander. It's just one of those things that always happens, isn't it? Opening day against your old team, and the big beefy bat in the middle of that Blue Jays lineup will hit one out for the Blue Jays against Baltimore. Have you got a dinger play there, Dylan?
No, I don't, but I'll go with the chats. I'll go Santander, or I'll go yours, Tyler O'Neill, or Pete Alonso as well. He just smashed a home run off of Marcus Stroman the other night as well. He's stringing the hot bat. He just got paid. So, yeah, I'll do a Polar Bear. Give me the Polar Bear against Framber Valdez as well.
So, D-Rock goes for the Polar Bear. Don't forget our total genius pick in our new feature with TVDBJ, aiming to be the first man ever to win a total genius hat, has gone for the under in the Brewers and Yankees game. He gave us an 8. We might let him have 8.5, depending on what the score finishes. Dylan, thank you very much, mate. A nice solid hour of opening day baseball. It's meeting you again tomorrow, I think, before Scott and Lonte get involved for the weekend game. So we'll be back same time tomorrow. Round about 9 p.m. local time for me, which is 4 p.m., 5 p.m. for you. But keep an eye on the schedule. It's the thing to do. Like, rate, review, thumbs up. If you're catching up later on Spotify, if you could leave a little comment underneath, that all helps with the algorithm and shoves this nonsense down other people's throats as well. The chat was absolutely buzzing, and I love it. I absolutely love it. So cheers, boys and girls. I really appreciate that. Good luck with all your bets. Enjoy opening day. We'll be able to live watch some stuff tomorrow as well, so that'll be fun. Hopefully, we'll cash some bets live as we're doing the show.
We also have the prop bet show tonight.
Yes, go on, D-Rock. You want me?
No, I was just saying we also have the prop bet show with Adam Rosenberg and Scott tonight on the MLB channel on YouTube.
Very well remembered, D-Rock. Yeah, I'm going to go and do a little bit of baseball with Sean and Ryan as well over on the mothership. So looking forward to all of that. Enjoy tomorrow. We'll be back this time tomorrow. And until then, we will see you all down the road. Cheers.